Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to have a little chat about communication again, because we don't often do that, do we? We don't discuss that very often. It's not something that comes up, because generally speaking, it's all good. There's never any miscommunication. There's never anything where we're sitting there going, yeah, but what do you mean when it comes to GW specifically? Except right now, that exact thing is happening, because I keep on getting messages, and I keep on seeing tweets, and Facebook comments, and all sorts of things, basically saying, lads, what's happened to the entirety of Forge World? And well, you can forgive them for asking, because, well, it looks like all of Forge World is now out of stock, and is never coming back. Do you fancy some Blood Angels? You a bit of a heresy player? Fancy a bit of Blood Angels action? Well, no, because all of this is no longer available. Sold out. Sold out. Just can't get it. It's not a thing. No more Contemptor for you. No more Tears of Death. None of that. And none of the others either. Get out.
No mobiles. No Walkmans. None of that. Or any of the others.
Perhaps instead you want to go White Scars. Well, you can't do that either, because a bunch of their stuff is also sold out. You can see where I'm going with this, can't you? You can see where I'm going with this. What if you decide instead to go Admech? No, you can't do that either. Well, Mechanicum, technically. Technically, Mechanicum, alright? Well, whatever. You can't have those either. So what they're called is actually kind of irrelevant. You can't have any Sekitari, you can't have any Myrmidons, you can't have any Archmagos, or just none of it. None of it for you. I mean, you may think to yourself, alright, well, my two first choices and my third choice, half their stuff's sold out, but it's fine. I'll look elsewhere. What about going a bit traitorous? Nope, can't have any Alpha Legion stuff. Alfarius is missing in action. He's out of there. He's not. He just doesn't want to know. He's left. You can't buy him. Same thing with the Contemptor Dreadnought. I mean, it's not great. If you also go to just 40k in general, you can't have any of the Orc stuff. Well, I'll say any of it. Just quite a lot of it is currently sold out, no longer available, and the same can be said for a massive chunk of the vehicles for the Imperium. So I just filtered by Imperium, and then I went. I mean, we're on page 8 out of 10. This is a full page of nothing but sold out. Page 9 was also totally sold out. It's not even going to load now. Look at that. Look at that. It didn't even work. It's so sold out, you can't even change page. You get what I mean, right? Now, of course, the big question that everyone's asking is, what's happening to all this stuff? Is it going out of production? Is it disappearing? We never got a last chance to buy. How are we supposed to get this stuff if you just get rid of it without saying anything? And also, a significant chunk of this is Horus Heresy. Is the Horus Heresy just dead? Is nothing going to happen with that range ever again? Why are you taking all of our options? They're not. They're not taking your options. They're not taking anything away. These are just being repackaged. That's all it is. Now, we've talked about this before. We've talked about this exact thing before. But I feel like at this point, it kind of bears some sort of consideration from, I don't know, the company itself, that perhaps there could be some sort of method by which you could let people know that it might say sold out and no longer available, but it's not. Now, I don't know what sort of software they use on their back end or anything. For some reason that sounds dodgy, but it's not. Also, I just severely whacked my ankle on the side of the chair, so do excuse me one moment. Now, I don't know what they use in terms of their software, but it's a fairly common thing whereby if you retire a product from a certain line, the SKU changes, the code changes that's attached to it, ends up in different packaging. So it's what happens when you do that. That's what this is. It's a product being discontinued, but it's not being discontinued. It's just being put in a different box. That box is under a different code to the current code, and so it looks like the item has completely disappeared, but in actual fact it's coming back. The thing is, we know, well, I say we know that, some of us know that, but there's also no distinction to be made between the ones that actually happens to and the ones that doesn't happen to. For instance, I thought the Marauder was gone. The Marauder was just, it was not a thing anymore. Now, it could be that it's not a thing anymore, or it could be that it's being repackaged, because there's now a considerable number of things that are definitely not going to be disappearing and vanishing into thin air that are also sold out and no longer available. There's got to be a way to distinguish between the two, right? If something is out of stock, no longer available, they're not making any more, then that's what sold out, no longer available should mean. In terms of like back-end stuff, in terms of organisational stuff, it's just been moved from one category to another. That's all there is. But the way that manifests in terms of the customer-facing side of things is you go to buy something and it looks like the company have just gone, nah, we don't make it, get lost. That's not ideal. That's genuinely not good. We've talked about this before, but especially now, right? When so much stuff is being recategorized, when so much stuff is being moved from one thing to another, it looks like it's all part of that Code 30 thing that's going on with the Horus Heresy, which Leaky Cheese has got a video about. I'll link that in the description. Yeah, it just looks like half of what Forge World makes is just gone. And the thing is, even if there's a good chunk of your customers know that isn't the case, it still looks terrible, because there's always going to be people who don't know that. Why would the average person, why would the average consumer, the average customer, know that if something says sold out, no longer available, there's a good chance that what that means is not sold out, it is going to be available again, it's just being put in a new box? Why would they know that? Why would anyone who isn't working on the website, like, why would anyone know that? The only reason we know is because we've had to have this clarified so often that it's not quite common knowledge, but it's not uncommon knowledge at this point. My argument is that it shouldn't be knowledge that is even required at all, because if something is being repackaged and is being moved over to different packaging and a different code in the back end, so your database is all up to date and it's not full of cluttered stuff where you got repeats of things, or it's easier to keep track of stock and where you are with that sort of approach. But at the same time, there's got to be a way to distinguish between the two, so that you don't have people going to buy a product and just going, well, I guess I'm out of luck. I'm just not going to get that now. Okay, great. There's got to be a way. There has to be a way, even if it's just an email blast. Even if it's an article, just a notification, just a thing on Twitter, on Facebook, on the community site. That's all supposed to be about communication with the community, right? It's surely not just advertising, right? Like, there's got to be a way to say, hey, we're repacking a bunch of our stuff. Maybe put it on the front page of Forge World. I mean, that is an option if it's primarily happening on Forge World. You've got a big old banner right here, okay? Big banner. Right now it's saying Warhammer Plus. There's also the Hobbit and Middle-earth strategy battle game. And there's the Horus Heresy. Crush them beneath your treads. Hilariously, 3 of those things are currently not available because it says they're sold out and no longer available. You've got a whack-off great banner here. Why not put something up that says, just says outright, we are reorganising some of our stock. As such, some items may appear to be no longer available, but they will be back. Anything to communicate what's actually happening. Like, what looks better to you? A banner here saying, hey, this is what the deal is, just letting you know so you don't get disheartened and decide not to buy the thing you were going to buy? Or this? What do you think inspires more confidence? Like, just in general, in your customer base, what do you think works better in terms of making sure that people save that, 80 quid they were going to spend on our farriers? Surely that's the way to do it. Have a big notification just letting people know. You've got the space. If you don't want to put it on the main banner, put it on one of these. If you don't want to put it on one of these, put it down here. Replace one of these for a moment. Or maybe down here. There's a good amount of real estate going on here, You could easily put something in there. Hell, put something just under here. Just put something like under the menu there. It's just to let you know. Anything but this, because this looks terrible, and it happens so often. And the response is always the same, which is people having to email and ask and tweet and Facebook, and I get emails where it's like, have you seen Forge World is basically out of business and no longer making miniatures? And each time I'm like, all they have to do is like instead of putting no longer available or sold out, just put back soon or something. Just back soon. No longer available, but it says back soon. A little bit confusing. Still better than sold out. Just anything but the current system, because the current system tells us no. I sneezed and now my eyes hurt. Anyway, the current system tells us nothing. It's totally worthless. It's pointless. What is the point of saying something is sold out and no longer available if that is not the case? I mean, technically, from a stock keeping standpoint, that might be accurate. But it's not really accurate because you've still got the things, you've still got the molds, you're still making the models, they just go in a different box. Tell people that. Why not tell people? What's gained from not telling people? Why do we have to guess? Stop making us guess information. It's not necessary. You don't have to. You should tell us stuff. Anything. Dear God. Anyway, this may be something of an overreaction to getting maybe the 20th email in the past couple of days about this specific topic. And you know what? I'm not saying how dare you ask. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it shouldn't be my job to tell people what Forge World are doing with their stock. That should be their job. They should be doing that. I shouldn't have to be clarifying that actually when it says sold out, no longer available, it's part of a big thing where they're redoing a load of stock and they're going in a different box and they're being recategorized. That shouldn't be necessary. Why should that be my thing? Why didn't it just say it on the website? Just do that. Do that instead of me doing this. Easy for you, easier for me. Anyway, that's what's going on. For God's sake, can we communicate a bit better? That'd be lovely. Anyway, a little bit ranty again. It's just I'm full of energy. I'm full of beans. Except a lot of the time, the beans are being directed in annoying directions. It's just how it goes. Let me know your possible solutions for this non-existent issue in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.